So this is the 6.2 recap of the 30, 60, 90 triangle, where we put the triangle on the unit circle. Let's start by reviewing these triangles. So the first one we have is the 30, 60, 90 triangle. 30 degrees is our reference angle. And it's a unit circle, so that means our radius is 1. The distance from the center to the edge of the circle is going to be 1. So that's our hypotenuse also. So we have a radius of 1, or a hypotenuse of 1. So on the triangle, the other side lengths are going to be 1/2 on this side, and then square root of 3/2 across down here from the 60 degrees. So we can actually think of this triangle in another way. Instead of 30 being on the bottom, we can have 60 on the bottom. And remember, across from 30 is the 1/2, and across from the 60 is the square root of 3/2. These are triangles you can just have in your notes. You don't need to memorize them, but you want to have them written down somewhere, because we're going to use these and put them on the unit circle. So first, let's look at the 30 degrees, and notice we have other degrees on the triangle as well. So 30 is going to land somewhere around here, about 1/3 of the way between 0 and 90 degrees. That's where the 30 degrees is going to land. All right, so we have this 30 degrees here, and I'm just going to copy it. Just got my 30 degrees from here to here, and it lands on this point on the circle. So I'm just going to write 30 degrees, just label this here. And this purple line is looking a lot like the hypotenuse and the angle over here on this triangle on the left. Notice how those are similar. Let's take a step back and look at our unit circle. So we have 0 degrees, 90, 180, and 270. And if we were to go all the way around, that's 360, right? So the distance from the center to the edge of the circle, the radius is 1. So it's going to be 1, 0 is this point. That's the x and the y. This radius is also 1, so the point's going to be 0, 1, because that's the y value going up by 1. If we go to the left, that's going to be -1, so the point is -1, 0. Going down is also by -1, so it's 0, -1 for that coordinate. So let's think about this one. What's this coordinate? Well, we have to think about the radius as 1, so we have a radius of 1 right here. And that's just like the hypotenuse of the triangle over here. So that's just like the hypotenuse here. So we have a radius of 1, we got that angle of 30 degrees, and we can really just think of this triangle and mirror it and think of it translated over onto this unit circle. So you can kind of visualize the triangle over here now so that we can figure out these other side lengths. And we want to figure out the side lengths because that's going to help us find our x and our y coordinate, or that point, that purple point. So the x value is that distance from there to there. Looks just like this one, so we're going to put √3/2. And that's the x value, that's the distance from here to here. That's the x value. And then we need our y value, so how much we went up by. And we can just look at our triangle, it's 1/2. So 1/2. So now that we have the x and the y coordinate, we can actually go in and practice finding our sine and our cosine. And remember, cosine sine is the same thing as the x, y. So let's find sine of 30 degrees, okay? So first look for 30 degrees. There it is. Here's the coordinate. And when we find sine, we find the y coordinate, or the y value. So it's going to be 1/2. That would be the answer. Sine of 30 is the y value at 30, so it's 1/2. What about cosine of 30? So look for cosine is the same thing as the x value, so that's going to be square root of 3/2. So all you have to do for cosine is just look at the x value at that degree of 30 degrees. Okay, so now that we've got 30, we also want to visualize what if we could also fit 60 degrees right here, right? Because 60 also lands between 0 and 90. This looks just like this triangle. It's the same triangle, it's just in a different orientation. But they both fit in that quadrant. So we've got this 60-degree mark right here. We got this point. Remember, our goal is we're trying to figure out this point because that can help us find sine and cosine. So 60 degrees right there. It's kind of big. It's kind of in front of the other one. Let's just forget about the purple one for now. And we've got this 60 degrees here, okay? And we want to figure out, what's the x and the y coordinate, or what are these distances, right and up, right? So we got this coordinate and we want to figure it out. And we can figure it out by imagining that special triangle, the red triangle, the 30, 60, 90, right here. So we've got our 30, 60, 90 right here, and looks just like this one. So we can just go in and label these side lengths. We got 1/2 down here. We got square root of 3/2 up there. And we could actually go in and label these side lengths and the radius of 1. So now we know our point. Our x value is 1/2, and then we went up by root 3/2. All right, so there's the side length, the y value. And now, if we were to ask, for example, cosine of 60, look for 60 degrees. There it is, here's 60 degrees. Check out the coordinate, because we want to know for cosine what's the x value here, and that is 1/2. So the answer would be 1/2.